If you've bought a bass over the holidays and you've thought 2021 is a year you're going to learn, I want to give you some tips so that you're still excited and playing in 2022 and beyond. Before we continue, I'm Tom. I'm a professional bass and guitar teacher based in the UK, and I've seen lots of adults over the years pick up instruments, and after many years, some are still really enthusiastic about practicing and playing, whilst others have long since given up. As an adult, I know that everyone's life is busy, but really your destiny on the instrument is in the most part up to you. Today, I want to go through the 4 most important things that I think are really important to know when you're starting to learn the bass. Some of the things today will probably seem pretty obvious, but I've seen people often get caught in these traps, so they're really helpful things to be aware of. Number 1, you won't pick it up from where you left it. The number 1 thing I hear from beginner students is that some days I pick it up and I'm great, but then the next day I pick it up, I'm horrible. Now, let's say you've had a really great practice session on Monday and you've put it down thinking, yeah, I've got this. When you pick it up on Tuesday, you won't be at that same level that you were at the end of your session on Monday. You'll need to practice a bit just to get back to the same level that you were on Monday and continue to practice to push through to the next level. When you practice, your brain is making the connections with your fingers to tell them what to do. Your brain isn't great at forming these neurological connections and forgets them quickly, so you need to practice regularly to reinforce them. When you start practicing the bass, because you're starting from a point of 0, you'll progress the fastest you ever will. And after time, that progress will taper off. But if you keep at it, you will continue to get better, but at a slower rate. Also, as you get better, you become more aware of what sounds good and what doesn't. So that can also make you think that you're not as good as you were in the past. Now, there's a brilliant TED video on the science of practice. And I know talking about science makes practicing not sound like fun in the first place, but I think it's important to understand how practicing works. Being able to practice effectively will make all the difference to your progress. This is a good point to ask. If you do find today's lesson valuable, please hit the like button and do consider subscribing if you want more content like this. Here's the next one. Number 2, you can't put a timeline on your results. When you pick up an instrument for the first time, it's really easy to want to be playing, say, the Don't Start Now bass line by Dua Lipa in 2 weeks or a month, and it can be really frustrating when you don't achieve it and think you'll never get it. When you start out, it's difficult to put an expectation on what is realistically achievable, and generally everyone sets a target higher, actually far higher, than what they are going to be able to achieve. So it's more important to set a process goal of I'll practice 5 days a week for 30 minutes a day than it is to set an outcome goal of I'm going to play the Don't Start Now bass line perfectly by the 15th of February. I would also start out with the easiest bass lines and try to get through a whole song. You'll get a much more immediate sense of satisfaction by completing something, and I found that that's a much more fulfilling strategy than trying to do something that is far too difficult or trying lots of different bass lines without ever finishing anything. I'll link to some easy bass lines that I did in the past if you're interested in those ones. Number 3, you need to enjoy the process. The key to getting better is practice, practice, practice. We all know that, but the ones who continue to improve year after year are the ones that enjoy the process of practicing. The ones who enjoy the practice find it relaxing and makes their life better regardless of how good they ever become on the instrument. It's like going to the gym. The people who love the buzz of a workout will continue to go to the gym and get the resulting tight set of 6-pack abs, and the ones with like the lines. But the ones who just see it as a painful, inconvenient use of time won't go, even though they would love to have the abs. I guess to enjoy the process of practicing, you need to trust that it will lead to results, which it will. But even more importantly, you need to just enjoy how practicing feels. There's lots of studies on how practicing an instrument gives you the same benefits to your brain as meditation, such as improving your cognition and memory and reducing symptoms of anxiety. When you practice an instrument, you're not going to get a dopamine rush like playing Assassin's Creed, but if you practice properly, you will find a level of calm and connection that will be very satisfying. Now, you will find points where you will get frustrated, and with more practice, you will overcome any obstacles. And it's cool just to listen to the sound of those bass notes. Number 4, you need to form a habit. It's important that when you start, you try and form a regular habit of practice. By practicing regularly, you'll see fast results, which will motivate you to want to practice even more. Now, how regularly you can practice will be up to you, and daily is ideal, but you can't beat yourself up if you miss a day here or there. To find the time to practice, it may mean that you will need to make sacrifices in other areas of your life, but I would say that it'll be worth it. Try and remove any barriers to practice. So for example, have your bass visible so you don't have to unpack it every time, and also try to schedule a time every day for practice. So those were the 4 most important things I think beginners should know. Ultimately, if you just keep at it, you'll definitely find that learning the bass improves your life and will probably make you a better person. That's a big statement. Hope you found today's tips helpful, and a big thanks to my Patreons for supporting this channel, and an extra big thanks to my VIP Patreon. Here's some more videos that you might enjoy.